talk to you guys a little bit about classroom discipline. So many of you may not know that I actually got my start working with kids in kind of a more ministry-sized setting in inner city DC, where we would do these Saturday outreach programs. I always taught Bible, and I always came home with little to no voice. The first couple weeks were really, really rough. We would go down once a month, and every week I'd be like, next time this is going to be better. Next time I'm going to not lose my voice. And I would lose my voice for about a week, which made it hard to do my other job. So I just wanted to give you guys something that I didn't have at that time, and just a great way of getting attention and encouraging good behavior and, definitely curbing any behavior that is distracting. So number one, I want to tell you, focus on good behavior. So if you see kids who are doing really well, point them out, call them out by name and be like, wow, I really love the way that Sarah is coloring so quietly. Or if someone asks a really good question, be like, wow, Bobby, you had such great insight. Let me talk a little bit more about that. So anytime that you can praise them for what they're doing well, that really, really helps. It also helps because a lot of times, especially in our setting, our kids are wanting our attention. Like, ultimately, that's what they want. And so if they see that they get our attention by being negative, well, then they're going to act negatively to get the attention. But if you change your focus and have it be more that you are giving positive reinforcement and looking at what kids are doing right. So if you have a kid who's standing in the corner not paying attention or who doesn't want to play the game, honestly, ignore them. Focus on the kids who are. Let an assistant or someone talk to them. But honestly, your focus is the bigger group. Because once they see, oh, I'm not going to get centralized attention by not behaving or whatever, but I'm going to actually get more positive feedback by being a part of the group, well, then you're going to start to see, maybe not that day, but slowly over time, their behavior will change. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is our 7 steps of grace. And this is just our way of handling discipline issues. So you might see me grab my phone and look down just to make sure that I'm getting the steps correct and in correct order. But the first step is to give eye contact. So a lot of times you guys will see me do this from the stage. I'll just stare someone down. And, most of the time I don't even say their name. I just stare at them. And you'll usually see them sit up and be like, oh yeah, I got to pay attention now. The next thing is if you're teaching up front, say you have the kids sitting and you're teaching or you're sitting on the floor, is for you to move to where that kid is. So a lot of times, you might see a teacher, you probably have seen this in a child's classroom, but the teacher might walk around. So I highly encourage you as you're teaching to walk around, and if there's any behavior issues, just stand next to those kids. It's really hard to want to talk to your neighbor if the teacher's right there hearing everything that you say. So just move your body where the problem is. The third time is just a touch on the shoulder, a touch on the arm, just hey, I'm right here. And that really helps. It helps them to be able to pay attention. It makes it much harder for them. This is great during small group time, or big group time, sorry. During our big group time, if you see kids who are talking or misbehaving, standing up and going and sitting next to them or touching them gently on the arm lets them know that you're there and lets them know that, hey, this is an appropriate behavior. The next is a touch and a whisper. So you might want to touch them and be like, hey, stop talking. Or if you're an assistant and the lead teacher's teaching, being like, hey, let's pay attention. Don't get into conversations with them. Leave it at that whisper. Don't let them lead you into conversations. Just be like, hey, let's pay attention, and help them see. The 5th sign is, if they're continuing to be distracting, is that you actually remove them from the classroom. And you can do this as an assistant or a lead teacher. So you remove them from the classroom and you just want to say a little something to him like, hey, listen, God brought us here to learn this lesson. And so I don't want to distract anyone from being able to hear what it is that God wants us to hear. So make sure that, you're doing your best to not draw attention to yourself so others can have that attention on God. The sixth one is to remove the child from the group and go talk to their parents. I have never gotten to this step. I don't know that we really will. It may come to that point, but so far in the 5 years I've been at Gateway, we've never had to actually go get a parent for any of these kinds of issues, but we will do that. So if that happens and you need to remove a student, you contact your floor coordinator and say, hey, Jennifer is not behaving and not paying attention. And, so your floor coordinator will go and get the parent. And then you'll have a conversation with the parent and the child about how we don't want to distract from what's going on because we want everyone to be able to hear what God is saying. And the seventh one is if that doesn't continue to work or it just becomes a continual problem, is we'll actually bring in the parent to sit with their child during class just to make sure that they're paying attention and so that the kid really gets like, oh no, we're serious. So we don't, I haven't really had a whole lot of time I've never actually gotten really past, I think, like level 5 of these steps, but it's just a great way and a reminder for you. I'm also going to post these in your classroom so that you have them readily available as just a reminder. So again, focus on positive behavior. Really focus on positive reinforcement. Follow those 7 steps of grace, and I know this is going to help you be a more effective teacher and really help you to engage with your students. Thank you so much.